This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, July the 10th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and it looks like the weather's going to remain somewhat stormy for us, though the mornings will be somewhat calm. Before we get started on the weather pattern for today and into the next week, there's a look at a rather interesting picture out over the Pacific with the extratropical gale force low approaching the northwestern United States, as well as Tropical Storm Blas, who's now a depression, and Tropical Storm Celia, who remains a tropical storm. So just an interesting shot I happened to run across yesterday from satellite images. Our surface weather pattern features a large high-pressure system over the about the eastern third of the country, or maybe even the eastern two-thirds of the country. We do have this weak front that is hard to identify very well, and it's going to be washing out over the next several days. In the meantime, though, we do have a number of clouds left over from all the thunderstorms that occurred yesterday and into the overnight hours, at least for areas off to our northwest. On the 500 millibar chart, or roughly about 20,000 feet in the atmosphere, we have this ridge over the western states with this little weakness over the lower Mississippi River Valley that is helping to combine with the daytime heating to enhance our showers and thunderstorms. That little low, or that little weakness, is going to be moving slowly across the southeastern U.S., and as it does, it's going to keep us somewhat unsettled, definitely through Monday, and I think perhaps even into Tuesday. By Wednesday, I think it gets into the Carolinas, and it's moved far enough away that it won't be much of a factor in our weather. Temperatures this morning dipping down generally into the lower 70s. This is cooler than we've seen over the last several days, again being helped out by the fact that we had numerous showers and thunderstorms. Regional radar shows that we do have some showers, not anything really strong or severe, over the northwest sections of Alabama and parts of northern Mississippi and parts of Tennessee. The watch warning map is a little bit clearer this morning, but we do have some heat advisories. Those are the orange areas. The bright reddish pink are actually high fire danger, and they represent extreme dryness. And on the QPF, or quantitative precipitation forecast, we're looking at the possibility of 1 to maybe 1.5 inches of rain in spots over the next 5 days. And most of this will be coming today, Sunday, Monday, and perhaps Tuesday. Then as we get into Wednesday, we go more into showers. But keep in mind, everybody doesn't get this amount of rain. I had none yesterday. So the bottom line is the forecast is not going to be this uniform over the whole area. Storm Prediction Center has an enhanced risk over North Dakota, with a slight risk covering parts of the states around that enhanced risk. Across the southeast, they've drawn a large swath of marginal extending from southeastern Arkansas across Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia to South Carolina. For day 2, we have a slight risk from centered primarily on Wisconsin and Iowa. And then on day 3, that risk shifts into the Great Lakes and into parts of Iowa, Illinois, Michigan, and Minnesota. And the Atlantic Tropical Basin remains quiet, and that's certainly good news. The Eastern Pacific remains somewhat active, with Blas now a depression, Celia still a tropical storm, both moving away from land, and then a new area of disturbed weather just off the Mexican coastline, but that moving away from land also. All right, the 060 GFS model run, and basically we're looking at numerous showers and thunderstorms today. A few of those storms, as we saw with the marginal outlook, may be strong to severe. And keep in mind also, heavy rain could be a problem, as we saw yesterday in spots like around Jasper. The upper air pattern shows that weakness moving into basically northern Mississippi. And so that is going to be staying with us as we head into Monday. We see the weakness is still there, a little bit, maybe even a little bit weaker, not quite as concentrated, but still I think that means that we see a good number of showers and thunderstorms over Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, basically much of the southeastern United States. Tuesday, the system is still visible over the southeastern U.S., but it's a little bit weaker still. But I still think that means that we're going to see a fair number of showers and thunderstorms, perhaps even more than what the GFS is picking up on here. But by Wednesday, that system is now over into the western Carolinas, or western North Carolina and North Georgia. So I think the number of showers begins to cut back on Wednesday. We get back to a more typical summertime weather pattern. Thursday, it's still the same. The ridge to our west is beginning to develop, By Friday, the ridge once again getting stronger to our west, and most of the traveling westerlies are getting further north. Or we do have a little weakness coming through there in the vicinity of Missouri, but that's not likely to produce much in the way of showers down this way, just scattered daily, diurnally driven by the heat of the afternoon type storms. Saturday, there's still that little weakness over the upper Mississippi River Valley, but you can see that the ridge is really bulging over into our area. And then it does even more of that on Sunday, as we see now a 597 heat bubble with a 594 covering all of the southeastern United States. So it looks like, once again, just isolated showers or thunderstorms as we head into Sunday. Now, going out into voodoo country, there's a big change. On Tuesday, we certainly see a very big ridge, and that's a 600 decameter ridge. So that's strong. That's a big ridge over Kansas. But unlike yesterday, by the time we reach the 22nd, or Friday of July, 22nd of July, we see the GFS is now forecasting a very deep trough. And this trough almost looks too deep for this time of year. With all the heat across the southern part of the United States and across the tropics, we don't usually see troughs quite this deep. I'm not saying it can't happen. It's just that it does look a little suspicious and perhaps maybe won't be quite that deep. By the time we reach Monday, the 25th of July, we show that we have basically troughiness over the eastern half of the country, which is good. That keeps us away from any extreme heat. And we have extreme heat in the western states, which, of course, they've had plenty of that this summer too, and they just don't need that. That'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for this morning. James Spann will be back with the next edition first thing on Monday morning. In the meantime, you can always check back for notes on Alabama's weather. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day, and Godspeed.